Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
So is this good? I don't talk on mics, but today I am. So I was just thinking about what to talk about, and like this? I need this at home. No, I'm just kidding. And so I just was thinking about maybe I would share what I've been learning about in Bible study with Faith Club. And the Lord was like, yeah, but that's not it. And so I was like, okay, I don't know what to talk about. And sometimes the Lord will lead you to your phone, and up popped this Irish pastor, and he was just talking about some things that he said, I want you to talk about this, but not verbatim, but just things that you've been, being bold in. And so that's something I want to talk about, is being bold in the Lord. So he talked about people being late, and sometimes you're late when you go to the airport and you know you're going to board, and you're just like running through the hallways, and you're like sweating and hurrying, and you're just like, man, why am I late all the time? And then you get to where you're, give them your ticket, and you get there, and you're like, oh, I'm on time. Okay. And so now what if you got there and you said, oh no, I'm so late, I'm not getting on. I'm just going to go, and I'm just going to go home, and maybe next time I'll get on the plane if I'm on time, if everything's perfect, everything is in order. And so God was showing me that we need to be bold even when we are late. Maybe next time you'll be more prepared, but nothing's going to be perfect. So sometimes we get stuck in our mindset where everything has to be perfect and everything has to be prepared, and that's not always how God operates. We need to have him go before us and to prepare. And so here are some things that the pastor said that I felt that maybe we could glean from, and I know myself, I also can be encouraged with. So he's telling us, I believe, that we need to make some bold moves. And there are some people here who have made bold moves already, and we watch them in awe, and we're like, wow, I wish I could do that. You can. Yeah. That's why we have God. He makes those moves possible, but we get stuck in our own fear. But fear is not a part of us. So when we ask God in our hearts, that is not a part of us anymore. So we need to remember that. Fear can make you very, very stuck. And when you're stuck in mud with boots and you're just like trying to get out, you just take out your foot and the other foot, and you just trawl along and just go. You can leave those old boots because they're not a part of you anymore. So sometimes when we give excuses, I'm not ready, I'm never on time, I'm too old, I'm too young, what will people think of me? I think that's a really big one. It doesn't matter what other people think, because they want to be bold too, but they don't know how to do that. And you can show them by being bold in what God has for you to do. And people watch. And so I got to put on my glasses now. These are new. Anyway, $6.99. Okay. Anyway, we're not to let fear stop us, because God has not given us a spirit of fear. God has not ever given us a spirit of fear. He has given us a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. And you have to remind yourself. You ask God to remind you when you're kind of like, oh, I don't know, you almost feel paralyzed. He does not make you paralyzed. Fear does. He makes you unparalyzed by helping you, remind you of what he said over you. Now, there's times when there's rest so that you can be restored. God created rest. God created restoration. But there's times where that has had its place and its season, and you need to move out of that. Just like every seed in the whole planet, there's a time when it gets planted either by a bird. We've had that happen. We had a pumpkin show up, and we're like, how did this happen? Well, a bird planted it for us, and okay, cool. But every seed has a duration of a dormant time. I'm not a farmer, but this is what I'm realizing is that it has a little dormant time. We had a friend, and we gave a walnut seed, and there's actually a certain temperature, a certain duration for it to be dormant, and then it gets planted in the soil, and then when it starts to be ready, it will sprout and pop up. And so that is okay to rest and have restoration, but there's only a season. So when we make bold moves, he honors us, and he gives us everything we need along the way. And sometimes our situations change, and we feel not prepared, but God has already prepared us in those times. So, I mean, how many times has something happened all of a sudden, and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do here? Doesn't God always provide you somebody, some scenario where you're like, oh, yeah, I remember when so-and-so did that. I'll call them, and they can help me. And in time, someone else is going to call you. That's how it works. Oh, sorry. So it's God's calling you into where he is leading. He's getting you ready. And the pastor gave this little cool little thing that he saw. So he takes the bus, and most often he will see the ladies in the bus getting ready and getting their makeup on. And I did that this morning. And I have actually seen men shaving in the car, too. So men do it, too. It's just not the ladies. Like electric. Oh, I know there are people who do that. You might meet one someday. Anyway. So he shared that as the ladies are getting ready in the back, they're putting on their makeup and getting ready. And when the Lord said to him that when we are not ready, those ladies were not ready. And when they left the house, they were getting ready on the way. And they weren't ready, but they left anyway because on their way there, they were going to be done and ready for whatever is planned for the Lord to do for them. So we need to remember that too, is that sometimes we're not ready right now, but he's just saying you just need to get out and just move, and I will prepare you right. I will get you ready as we are moving together. Take your makeup with you, yes. So in Joshua, it says, before he was going to go into battle, that God said that no man shall be able to stand before you in all the days of your life, as I was with Moses. And you need to go back in your scriptures. You can look up Rabbi Google, and there's tons of information there on how to be courageous. There's a lot. And so he also says that I will not leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and of good courage. For to this people shall we don't need to read that. Okay. But so in verse 7 he says, only be strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to prosperous, and then you will have a good success. And at the last part he says, have I not commanded you? I don't know how many times I've told my kids, haven't I just told you that? I know my parents did with me. Heather, haven't I not told you that? Be strong and of good courage, and do not be afraid, and nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. He's very specific, and he's not going to leave you. So if you need to make a bold move, remember in Joshua, the first 10 verses, just read it, and you will be encouraged by that. And go look for other people who have maybe done a bold move in something that you just need encouragement for. Don't be embarrassed. We're all human, and we all need help and just guidance. So thank you.